Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. What the male relationship experts don't get. And honestly, I don't know if they just don't get this or they just don't care. And when I talk about male relationship experts, let me make it clear. I'm not talking about dating coaches and seduction gurus or just people giving advice to men. I'm not talking about them. Definitely not them. Basically, I'm talking about the male relationship experts who cater to women. Otherwise known by many people who call them simps or other names, right? But this is what these guys don't get, because I feel regardless of what they say, they're sincere. And I really do believe that they really sincerely want to help women. I really do. I know we call some of them pimps. Hell, I've called them pimps. And deep down, I still think they are anyway. Well, not even deep down. I just think, hey, you pimping these women. Now, but I'm going to be nice on this one. We just call them relationship experts. Because like I said, for whatever reason, they sincere in what they say. Even if they just straight conning the women, they still sincerely conning the women. So, but here's what they don't seem to get, right? Because if you listen to most of them, if you honestly listen to them, and this is for the women who follow my channel, because I know y'all out there. If you listen to these male relationship experts, there aren't any good men. Let me say that again. If you listen to these guys, there aren't any good men, because if you really think about it, they spend most of their time putting women down. They don't tell women how to actually get a good guy. Most of them. Now, to the ones who sincerely do, you know what? This don't apply to you. If it don't apply, let it fly. As my brother Obsidian would say. But but most of you, oh man, if you really listen to it, because I've listened to a whole lot of these experts, I come across their videos and I'm like, damn, yo. I listened to this one guy. And I was just like, well, damn, dude. He was telling women, all these guys they shouldn't mess with. I'm like, dude, did you? You basically covered every single guy. Because, see, one of the problems with women is too many of them are looking for that perfect Prince Charming. And if you listen to these relationship experts, they just feed right into it. So they'll find every little thing. They'll throw men under the bus and they'll say, this man is this man is that. And, a problem with that is it's true. But every single man, every single human being, I don't care what race they are, what gender, they're going to have something. They're going to have some type, every single one of us out here got some type of mess. But if you listen to these male relationship experts, and this ain't just the ones who deal with black women. There's plenty of white ones who do the same thing. That's why I ain't say black male relationship experts, or, some of the white ones are worse in my opinion. It's always telling the woman, oh yeah, these guys are this, these guys are that. And they don't really say, well, this is what a good guy looks like. They imply it though. They kind of imply that they're a good guy. And they'll say, well, you don't want to mess with this guy who does that. And I was like, but here's what they don't get. You actually hurting the women because you setting up in a woman an unrealistic view of men. Because they're looking for that guy. Because, hey, look, as I said, every single person is still human. Ain't no guys out here walking on water or whatever the deity of whatever their religion is. Nobody's doing all that. You gonna get some guys out here, no matter what, is going to make a mistake. or there's going to be some, with couples who are compatible, there's going to be some point of conflict. It's really just a matter of how they handle the conflict. But these guys, they call themselves helping women. And this is the part where they could be called pimps. They're not helping the women. They are not helping the women at all. They are not giving a realistic view of men to these women. They're giving an unrealistic version. They'll get up here and they'll say all this stuff. And there's been plenty of guys who built up their businesses this way. And they'll just talk trash, but see, they'll get that money. And they ain't thinking, well, the guys ain't doing much. Like I tell you, one guy who kind of did it balanced, and I'll call his name. That was Michael Baston, right? Like, he was famous. Back in the day, he got big doing his How and Why Men Cheat, right? And, there's a big argument. It was like, well, he was creating that unrealistic expectation. But then I heard, I was at an expo and I heard another seminar he was giving, and he was telling these women straight up. He was like, look, y'all got those crazy haircuts and all of that. Ain't no successful man gonna want you. And he was telling them women straight up. So I respect that. But see, you get some guys, they don't balance it out like that. They don't say, well, look, this is realistically what that guy's going to be about. Or this is realistically what he's going to do. And realistically, yeah, he's going to make some mistakes. Just like the woman is. Realistically, there are some bad ones, but there's some good ones. Realistically, there's some compatible dudes. Realistically, y'all going to have to do some growing together. And you might have to sacrifice something. There's some stuff you're going to click with, some stuff you might have to learn to live with. But these male relationship experts don't seem to get that. That while they getting the money from these women, they actually setting them up to fail. And they may be sincere. They, like I said, they probably sincere one way or the other. But if you don't tell somebody the real dope and the real truth, and you set up an unrealistic expectation in their minds, they just gonna hate you. And this is something I said when I did that relationship video. How often can these male relationship experts say that a woman has actually benefited from what they said? See, one thing, and I'll use myself as an example, because yeah, my thing is mostly men, right? Mostly men. I do have some stuff for ladies, but with me, I count my success not how much money I make, but how many men have come back to me and told me, hey, this has helped me. Like, I have a gentleman overseas now. I remember this dude hit me up on Facebook and said, yeah, I got your book and everything. And this is way before I was on YouTube. Now, like, everybody on YouTube hit me up on Facebook, right? But I remember we were on Facebook. He hit me up. He said, yeah, I got your book. Now, I remember a few months, about a year later, he found this woman, love of his life. Another year later, got married. And then now this dude celebrating the birth of his baby daughter. That's what I count as success. But see, most of these male relationship experts, are they actually helping people? And I'll call a public name, because what he going to do? Steve Harvey. How many women can honestly say they did everything he said in his book, and they got the man they wanted instead of more trouble? Because really, if you think about it, right, how many of these women out here being really empowered by these male relationship experts? And yeah, I'm counting myself too, because I started out writing some stuff for women. And it was the same principle I had with men. If enough women didn't come back to me and say it was helpful, I wouldn't do it. And I've had some to come back and say, hey, you know what? I got something out of this. But see, the only thing was I ain't telling what they want to hear. In fact, I would tell women, and the two things I've written for women, I've told them straight up, get off those unrealistic expectations and find that guy you can grow with. I ain't tell them, like, I ain't throw men under the bus for it. And any male who's read my stuff or I got a pay video for women finding the right man. You listen to it. I ain't throw men under the bus. I just say, look, this is what you need to look for in a man. But I ain't say, oh, all these guys are cheaters and all of that. But see, that's what a lot of these relationship experts do, and they think they're getting over. They think they're getting over, but I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. Because these guys are not being realistic about men and presenting men in a light that deals with reality, I guarantee, and I'm gonna say every single one of them who does this, every single one will get to a point where they will no longer make money. Now, it might not be next year or the next 2 years, but I guarantee it, none of them will be in the same business 10 years from now. And people might disagree with me, but here's the point. Regardless of what a man think about a woman, she's still going to want results. That's why I measure even what I do for men by the results. I would have been stopped doing this if some men didn't come back to me and said this helped. And I get that all the time. I get somebody say, hey, Ron, that advice you gave me, oh, it worked. You know, if people said, in fact, there's some, and I'll just say this just for my stuff. I've yet to have a person say they implemented everything I said do and they failed with it. I have not had that. I've had people who read the stuff and didn't try anything and say, oh, this wouldn't work. But I've yet to have a person say, you know what, Ron, I did everything you said for a year and none of it worked. I've yet to have that. But how many of these male relationship experts can say the same thing? Because really their business is to make men look bad and to tell women what they want to hear. And they don't get by doing this, they actually hurting the women they think they helping. So many men don't get that. Many male relationship experts rather do not get that. And until they change their tune and get beyond just making some money off some lonely women, they are just really contributing to the problem. So that's all I got to say about that. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.